You know that feeling, right? You pick up a best-selling productivity book, you get totally fired up, you try all the tricks for a week, and then, poof, it all just falls apart. If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. And what if I told you the reason has nothing to do with your willpower? Today, we're going to dig into why so much of that popular advice feels impossible in the Indian context, and more importantly, how to actually fix it.
Okay, this slide right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. See, most productivity advice is written for the world you see on the left, a low-friction society. You know, a place where things generally work, infrastructure is reliable, and individualism is the default. But the reality for so many of us is the one on the right, a high-friction world where everything needs a follow-up, and you're caught in this dense web of social obligations. It's like we're trying to run software designed for a completely different operating system. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The advice itself isn't necessarily bad, it's just the wrong tool for the terrain. I mean, you wouldn't blame a Formula One car for breaking down on a bumpy, potholed road, would you? Of course not. So let's get this straight right now. You're not the problem. The system you're trying to use is simply not built for your environment. So first things first, let's play doctor. We need to diagnose the invisible forces that are working against your focus every single day. These are the environmental and cultural realities that most productivity gurus just never even think to mention. This one is huge. You know, in the West, a closed door pretty much means do not disturb. But in many Indian households or even offices, a closed door can feel suspicious, can it? Maybe even a little bit rude. So every hour you manage to carve out for deep, isolated work, you're actually racking up this social debt that you're going to have to pay back later with emotional energy. This makes true, uninterrupted, deep work incredibly expensive. All right, let's switch gears for a second. We've talked about the social stuff. Now let's get biological. Because what about that heavy, sluggish feeling you get in the afternoon? What if that's not a character flaw? What if it's just chemistry? People call it the carbohydrate coma, and this chart shows you exactly why. Take a look at that first bar. That's your typical grain-heavy Indian lunch, all that delicious rice or roti. It causes this massive spike in your blood sugar, and you can see what happens next, an equally massive energy crash. That's not you being lazy at 2 p.m. Your body is literally sedated, making deep, focused thinking biologically impossible. Now compare that to the steady, stable energy from a protein-heavy meal. The difference is, well, it's night and day. And on top of all that, your brain is paying these hidden taxes all day long. There's the follow-up tax you pay for chasing the plumber or the delivery guy. The thermal tax, as your brain literally slows down in the heat. The constant infrastructure of noise, the honking, the construction. And of course, the FaceTime mandate at work, where just being seen is often valued more than what you actually produce. Your mental RAM is drained before you've even opened your most important file. So look, if your daily reality is a storm, you need a totally different set of tools, right? It's time to throw out those calm water productivity charts. What you really need are storm survival protocols, strategies that are actually designed for the chaos. So let's get to the good stuff, the prescription. Think of this as your actionable guerrilla warfare playbook. We're not talking about small life hacks here. This is a full-blown strategy for reclaiming your focus in a high-friction world. Okay, protocol number 1 is all about ruthlessly controlling your sensory input. Look, you can't stop the noise outside your window, but you can stop it from reaching your brain. Active noise-canceling headphones, they aren't a luxury, they are a survival tool. Pair them with brown noise, it's great for masking those low rumbles, and use an AC. An AC isn't just for comfort, it's a tool to keep your brain at its peak operating temperature. Here is that simple but incredibly powerful dietary override. To avoid that carbohydrate coma we saw in the chart earlier, the rule is dead simple. No grains during working hours. Save the rotis, save the rice for dinner when a little bit of sedation is actually helpful for winding down and getting to sleep. I'm telling you, this one change can absolutely revolutionize your afternoon energy levels. In a culture where a direct no can often be taken as a personal insult, you have to get strategic. This is basically social engineering. Society tends to respect religious observance and medical advice more than it respects professional ambition, so you use those as a shield. Saying something like, "I need to do my prayers then," or "My doctor ordered me to get to bed early," creates a boundary that people respect, without you causing any offense. But here's the big question, isn't it? What do you do when the interruptions at home are constant and the office culture is just as distracting? I mean, where can you possibly go to get any real work done?
The solution is what we call the third space. It's a neutral territory that is neither home nor office. Your car, believe it or not, can become this incredible, soundproof, climate-controlled pod for 90 minutes of pure, focused work. Or find a boring, unknown cafe, a place you associate only with productivity. You're basically training your brain to snap into a flow state the second you sit down there.
Now, all of these tactics are fantastic, but they only really work if they're built on top of a fundamental mindset shift. And honestly, this is probably the most crucial takeaway of this entire explainer. Stop trying to optimize for speed on a perfect, smooth track that, let's be honest, just doesn't exist for you. Your goal is no longer to be a sleek, fragile race car. Your new goal is to become a tank. A tank is built for resilience. It's designed to move forward relentlessly, no matter how chaotic the environment gets. So think durability over speed, resilience over optimization.
So here it is. This is your new mission, and it's threefold. First, anticipate the chaos. Just accept it as the baseline, not as some annoying exception. Second, ruthlessly isolate your senses to protect your focus. And third, and this is the big one, stop managing your time and start managing your biological energy. Because in this environment, your energy is your most precious and most vital resource.
Look, this isn't just theory, it's a practical playbook. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Looking at all these strategies, which one, just one, is the first protocol you're going to deploy tomorrow morning to start building your tank?